A fan altercation. He was, diving into the stands, trying to make a hustle play. And you see that, not the guy that he ran into, but that guy in the blue just gives him a shove.
Nowhere.
He just pushes him out of nowhere. At the time, you could see Lowry immediately alerting the refs, like, yo, I got pushed. What's happening here? Told Scott Van Pelt yesterday that he felt like the fan should be banned from all NBA games, period. Ramona Shelburne is in Oakland. Ramona, what could you tell us about that particular fan?
Well, that particular fan is a minority investor in the Warriors, and he is not going to be attending any more Warriors games throughout the finals. They just released a statement on it. They're owning that. There was a couple of reports this morning identifying the fan there. And, it's obviously an unfortunate situation. Now, the Warriors have a ton of minority investors, right? I see them all sitting courtside. You sort of wonder who some of those people are. His name is Mark Stevens. He's a minority investor. They have a lot of them, but obviously they have to investigate this incident further. They have to talk to the rest of the NBA is investigating, and because of the attention that's been on this, I expect we'll hear a lot more about this in the coming days. But he won't be attending any more finals games.
And you said it, Ramona. He will not be attending is not exactly the same as being banned, which is what Kyle Lowry is calling for. Let's get to the actual game and what we saw. And listen, not everyone to play the hindsight game. Steve Kerr sticking by his decision to shut Klay down for Game 3. How do you think the Warriors are going to manage him in Game 4?
Well, Klay's playing Game 4. I mean, I talked to Klay and people around Klay last night, and obviously you saw him pouting on the bench. He was steaming the entire game. I was actually back in the locker room a couple of times checking on injuries, and when you'd see Klay back there, I mean, he was in some kind of mood. Okay, he wanted to play in that Game 3 and was sort of fighting with everyone to try to let him play. But this was a bit of game theory for the Warriors, right? If you played Klay in Game 3 and he re-injured that hamstring, which was definitely a possibility, and then you lost him for the rest of the series, that was a fate that the Warriors could not accept because they don't know where Kevin Durant is at in his rehabilitation process. There's an optimism that Kevin Durant could play in Game 4, but he's got to get through a scrimmage today. He's got to get through another round of workouts. Then he's got to see how he feels on the morning of Game 4 tomorrow. And so if you don't know where Kevin Durant is, like, if you can't guarantee Kevin Durant is coming back in Game 4 or Game 5 or Game 6, then you can't chance Klay Thompson in Game 3 because you can't be without both of them for the rest of the series. That was the decision-making process yesterday for the Warriors about whether to let Klay Thompson play, and they decided to err on the side of caution because they need him for the rest of this series.